Breakdowns.
Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. We are on episode 66, and today
so close.
I'm, so close. Everybody's been, saying that they wish they would have waited a few episodes.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I'm going to make on that episode.
We'll come back.
Oh. Emphasis on the come back. Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited, and I like I said before, it took me forever to get this band in here, and now I actually, got them. They're super busy, so I can't get a hold of them. But I'm actually super excited. I'm a big fan of this band. But today we have Golden Week. What's going on, bud?
Yo.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time and coming by today. I appreciate it. And bringing gifts, too. Look at all this stuff right here. All these Japanese Kit Kats. I don't even know what flavor that is. Ricky?
Premium flavor.
It looks great.
It says at the bottom,
Premium flavor.
Was it like...
So... I can't read that. I'm not even going to try. It's fine.
It don't matter. It's free.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to eat it. But yeah, I mean, first of all, guys, I've been definitely a fan of the band for a while now, and it's really cool to see the music come out and actually get to talk to you guys about it. But yeah, like you were mentioning a little bit like earlier, you were like everything like the Japanese stuff is really on brand. Like where does that come from? Just as far as like it being a big like influence into like Golden Week, like the Japanese influence.
Well, we kind of met before. We had a band called Trist before, and we kind of basically got to know each other through like playing tons of like JRPGs and like our anime past essentially. And then basically that band kind of wasn't going anywhere. And so we found Ricky you knew Ricky through some friends, right?
Yeah, I knew Ricky through his other band, Fievel, at the time. Who then became Faint Love later on. And we hung out with him at an anime convention.
Got a room.
Yeah, we got a room together and got a...
We actually barely knew Ricky too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We just slept in his room because we were like probably wasted at the anime convention. But it's just always so that was a big part of the beginning of Golden Week because that's what brought us to Ricky, and brought forth the next evolution of Trist, of the previous band. And so when we were trying to come up with names, it kind of made sense. For a couple of reasons. One, there was the more semantical aspect of having a band name like Green Day or something, where you have like a color or an adjective, and then another word.
We're just better Green Day. We're golden, and we're
Golden Week.
Golden is better than green, first of all.
Yeah. And I don't even really listen to Green Day, but I was like, that's a popular band. It's a memorable name. I was like, that same aspect kind of works. And then Golden Week came to mind because it encapsulates a lot of what we as people are about. Where Golden Week, if y'all don't know, is a Japanese holiday. It takes place over the course of a week. There's actually like 5 smaller holidays within it. Was the end of April into the beginning of May, and pretty much the whole country shuts down just to celebrate this. And I first learned about it from a video game, Persona 3, back in the 2000s. Persona 3 is like my favorite game of all time. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, it made sense to us. Like we met Ricky at an anime convention basically, and half our music influence comes from video game music, anime music, stuff like that. And so, yeah, it just kind of represented what we wanted to move forward with as the band. Is just like having something that's more us, something that represents like our interests and our influences as best we could.
Do you think that first band, so Trist, that first band you did, was that I guess not really personifying like your guys' interest and like what you guys really, I guess, felt like as people, or do you feel like that was limiting and this Golden Week was a little bit more freeing in that aspect?
Yeah, a little bit. Like
more of an evolution because like John started Trist and I joined later.
And I was writing and doing everything basically for Trist.
Yeah.
And then basically as we like added more people, I was like, okay, this sound is totally different. We need a new name. Let's just be a different band because this is a new direction. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just pretty much where was going with everybody joining. I mean, that makes sense with all like again, your friendship was kind of solidified with like all like your interests and stuff, like in like like you were saying, like anime and stuff like that. And then the anime convention, meeting Ricky, is kind of just tying everything together. So that would, I mean, it would make sense that that's a big influence into why that's something you would want to incorporate into the band, which is really cool. That's really neat. After Ricky, did you guys stick around for a little bit just as a 3-piece, or then were you adding members right away?
Yeah, we added a drummer relatively quickly. It was our friend Tim Fisher. I had known him since middle school, went to school with him, and we got going as quick as we could and just started writing and come with some new stuff, getting ready to record. And but then our other two members, Jonathan and Josh, didn't get added to much more recently. We've had a bunch of lineup changes over the years, and a big one was once we finally added Jonathan on guitar, that freed up John to be able to just focus on vocals. And I think that was like a big turning point for us and like the next step of our evolution. And then securing Josh on drums was the most recent one. That just happened like a month ago. I don't know when it was.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Maybe not that quick, but it was pretty recent.
Yeah.
But that was like the final step here that was pretty huge. So, but yeah, at first, it was mainly me, John, and Ricky, and our drummer Tim at the time, and then we just tried to kind of build from there. But like, it's been kind of hard. Finding members just because we're so picky about it. Like,
okay,
we've had a lot of fill-ins and stuff. Like, our first EP has 4 drummers on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. And it's part of it's because like I said, Golden Week as an idea is more than just a musical sound. It's our personalities and our influences, and so having people that like we connect with on a deeper level than just they can play an instrument, because there's plenty of people in Dallas that can play instruments, but being able to connect with us on that deeper level was really important to us.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Like I said, you've kind of have like a core, I guess, group at it that kept everything together and still working towards that evolution. Because the music itself, it's just so incredibly like catchy. Like I was trying to figure out like today, like I was re-listening to everything, and I'm like, I don't know what I would call this. Like I just like it. I'm like, and it's kind of like, I hate like genre talk anyways. Like it's always weird, and like, oh, it's this, it's stupid. And I mean, when I remember when I was like playing in a band, I hated every time it's like, oh, like it's like, what do you guys call it? And I'm like, I don't know. Like I just write stuff. Like
we've had such a big struggle with that one too.
Yeah.
Like what do you guys call yourselves, or like what's your sound, or what show can we put you on? Because like we all come from like crazy different band backgrounds. Like when Maston joined me with Trist, he was in another metal band, and then Ricky was also in several metal bands. But I'm soft. Like I'm like I'm soft. Whoa. But, yeah,
most
like,
of the time.
most of the time.
Like like I grew up listening to like a lot of like pop and like more of
You can say Coldplay.
Oh, I didn't just listen to Coldplay, my guy.
Just listen to Coldplay.
All right, let's be real. I stopped listening after Viva. It's whatever.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, but
start slamming Coldplay for the next 2 minutes.
Oh, don't get me started. But yeah, no, like basically just kind of more along the like melodic side of stuff and whatnot. But we also like are all nerds, so we are consuming tons of stuff. But yeah, so. When it comes to genre, it's a little bit difficult to pin it down because everyone's bringing different stuff from there.
Yeah, and I'm about to throw some minor shade at like other bands. But
here we go.
Sorry, I apologize to my bandmates.
Oh, I'm gonna open.
do it
first. I'm gonna need
this.
this.
Get a click. There we go.
There we go.
Well, it's so hard to narrow your music down, and not just post having released it, but like while you're creating the music, it's so hard to nail down. Good stuff, right?
It's really good.
Just like what you want to sound like when we all grew up with the internet and listened to everything.
Exactly.
I mean, I remember being like a kid, and like if you listen to rap, you didn't listen to rock, and vice versa.
Yeah.
There was like a battle between it. And even more specific is I remember back when I first heard about emo, back in like 6th, 7th grade ish, I hated it because I was a ska fan. And there was a big ska versus emo battle. We're like, why are y'all so sad all the time? Like, this is stupid.
Over there.
It's like, just dance around. It's fine.
I'm just skanking in my bedroom.
Skanking.
But yeah, but that's not how things are anymore. We all have so much access to music that we've listened to everything. And so even though I played in an alternative metal band at the time, just because, you know, I was friends with them and wanted to play some music, like, that wasn't me, you know? Like, yeah, I'll listen to some of that. Also, like, I play bass in Golden Week, and my biggest influencers are, like, Japanese rock, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and Jet Set Radio Future. It's like,
oh my God, okay.
It's like, it's so hard to just say, like, yeah, like, I'm a punk bassist. Like, nah, dude, I listen to everything. One of our favorite albums that we, like, kind of connected on was Emotion by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Changed my life, dude. I love that album.
Yeah, and, like, you might listen to Golden Week or any of our other past projects and be like, that doesn't sound like them. It's like, well, it doesn't, because we're not a singular genre. But, like, hopefully, if you listen to maybe, like, a little bit of a vocal melody here or a little bit of a hook here, you might hear some of that Carly Rae Jepsen, or I was mentioning Michelle Branch earlier, is a big one. And then in some of the guitars, you know, like, we've Jonathan and I, so Jonathan, before he joined, he and I played in a hardcore band called My Apologies. And
oh shit, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Apologies. Okay, cool.
That's a reaction we get a lot. It's like, that was a band.
Oh shit, I remember that.
And so, like, being able to bring all this stuff together is kind of what I think makes us a little different, is being able to not only play different genres, but embrace it and try to expand and try to, like, have diversity in our music. And to some people that might turn them off, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, that's who we are, is our variety. And
I think for the most part, that should be the natural state of everybody, because it's so, and I've mentioned this before, like, on the podcast, but, like, I find it so weird when you only listen to one genre to write that one genre, because you end up writing the exact same thing. Like, it doesn't sound that different. You're writing somebody else's music. You don't really find a lot of ways to put your own takes on stuff. When if you just embrace every influence that you've had, it feels to me like it feels just more natural to embrace everything that you've listened to, and then, okay, now let's write something with it. Like you said, it doesn't need to come up like very, like, forward, or, like, you know, we're like, oh, okay, I see where they got that from this, like, but those little, like, instances here and there where you'll hear a vocal part or, like, a guitar riff or something, like, oh, okay, that was sort of inspired, and maybe people don't notice it because it does well to like, just when you write a cohesive piece, it'll all blend together and you won't maybe be able to point them out, but you'll know that they're there. And then maybe the one person that's like, oh, here's this, and be like, now knows about the, you know, Carly J. Repson, like, album, and then just be like, oh, okay, I hear this part now, and then they'll be able to go back and, like, kind of look at it. So I think it's just the most natural, like, way of writing.
And interestingly, it almost feels like it's just a rock music problem, though, because you look at pop and rap, and even country, they're
Embracing other genres,
yeah, that's why they're doing so well right now, is because of the embracing of other genres. I mean, especially rap. Like, John listens to the most rap out of all of us, probably, so he's the best to talk about it. But that's, like, the current state of rap is defined by its cross-genre kind of portability.
That's true. There's a lot more, like, there's definitely a lot more, like, rock influence and a lot of, like, and, like, rap and hip hop, like, now. I mean, I didn't even know, like, again, because it's such a weird concept to me, to people to be upset about, like, using other genres and, like, other stuff, but, like, Unity TX has been getting like a lot of shit, dude. Like, sometimes, and I'm like, about guys. People like that you know, hate it. It's like, oh, you know, you shouldn't have, like, rap and metal. I'm like, who, like, I was like, who is this, like, person saying that? It makes no sense. Like, it shit's badass. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's this whole new thing that's, like, really fucking good. Like, why would you, like, deprive, like, you know, the music world out of something, like, good just because you don't think these things should, like, mix it, whatever. The whole, like, I remember that whole, like, you know, I wasn't even a fan of, like, Lil Nas X or anything, but the whole thing when, like, he made the country song, like, people went crazy and wild. I'm like, people have a lot of time to bitch about, like, things where it's like, just make music, man, and listen to it.
Our musical palettes are more complex now because,
Yeah.
like I said, we've all listened to so much music and grown up with so much that we can, I think, as a culture, as a people, are ready now to listen to stuff that crosses over genres a lot. It's like people who don't like pineapple on pizza, you know? They're probably children because they don't have a complex palate that can appreciate the nuances of a high-end dish like that.
Man, it's trying to be controversial out the gate, bro.
Trying to get you clicks.
Trying to get you to pineapple pizza. You know what? That's fine. I don't like it, but it's fine. It's okay.
No,
It's
it's
just not for
okay.
me.
You know what?
I'm a child, though.
It's all right. We gotta have children in the world. We love the children.
It's cool. No, yeah, like
Golden Week
even
is-
that,
Golden
like
Week
stuff
is for
like
the
that.
children.
Yeah. Golden Weeks for the children. But yeah, and then the music thing, like I said, it's just music is so subjective. Like, so you're not, if you don't like something, you don't like it. It's fine. Like, that's okay. But I think that more people embrace like just mixed genre stuff. That's why I like mixed genre bills. That's why the whole like thing with like our festival that we throw with Chill Sounds and Breakdowns. It's a mixed genre local festival because I'm like, bro, that's the way. For the most part, the majority of people listen to music and listen to everything, and people literally will go from listening to like something really like heavy to like the softest thing in the world. Because I know I do that shit all the fucking time, and in the same car ride, you know what I mean? My mood will change that much, and I'm like, yeah, I want to listen to this and listen to that, right? And to me, there's not an issue with that. Like I can go from whatever, and to me, it still sounds like that could be my radio station. And you were talking about like earlier, like growing up where like. You could only listen to like one genre. It's kind of how it felt like to me. Like that genre for me was like whatever was on the radio. So that was like whatever station you were on, and so I only grew up listening to radio pop music, or even whatever the rap that was playing was still like your mainstream raps or everything like that. So that's the only thing that I kind of grew up listening to, and even like MTV when they used to play music, that's the only stuff that I knew. But I think the first thing that I saw on like TV that was like anything other than the normal was like I remember watching a Treyu X's and O's had just came out or something like that, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I was like, why is that guy just yelling, like screaming, like what the fuck's he doing? But I was like, that sounds so cool, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And it was like the first like kind of instance of that, and then I didn't know where to get more of that, you know what I mean? Because at that time, like I still didn't have access to like go online and still do or find my own music, and then like LimeWire came around.
I was about to say,
fucked everybody's
that was it.
computers.
I was about to say that's the genre. It's just LimeWire genre.
LimeWire, yeah.
It's our genre, yeah.
where it had the
Is it
fucking,
legally downloaded music?
somebody downloaded.
Somebody
we were just
downloaded-
sharing.
It's gonna be our new Golden Week slogan. It's just like Golden Week, catch the LimeWire virus.
The virus.
But yeah, I think like once the internet got a hold of music and it was just like streaming became available, it was like you just had access to every fucking like song that you wanted to listen to. And then when they started like incorporating like algorithms for like your own radio play, like based on what you just listened to, and then you would discover like new things, was like my favorite thing when it first started happening.
Yeah.
Because it started just broadening like the stuff that I listened to, and every now and then I'd get a curveball and I'm like, it wasn't like what I was listening to, but I do like that. So it was a really cool experience to start, just expanding the level of music that you get to. And you start finding out that for me, like when I was younger, I was just like, yeah, I don't like country. Then I was like, oh, okay, I just don't like the country that was being
the radio.
on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like this other stuff. Yeah. And it's like, and now like, I'm just like, I can pretty much find something I like in everything. I go, sure, I got my favorite stuff that like I'll play over and over, but I can listen to most stuff and be like, oh, okay, I can like this, or find something in the genre for myself.
And like I joked about the pineapple on pizza earlier, but
Yeah.
like it's because it's okay to like and dislike whatever fits your taste. But like I don't know, it's so cool being able to like I truly feel like anyone can find something in any genre that fits their taste. Because like I was the same way. I hated country when I was younger, but then it's like you start to think about it, and it's like, okay, it's got guitars and drums and bass and singing, and it's like relatable stuff. Like this is just emo.
Yeah.
Like they're just singing about like relationships and stuff. Like half the time, this is just emo music. Like what's
Emo
the
with
difference?
twang, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, and the difference is, like you said, I mean, it's just the stuff that I was exposed to, I wasn't into. But like, I think I just love like trying to find something that I like. It's like breaking it down like that. Like I think if we all like actually think about why we don't like certain things instead of just being like, I don't like it, which totally fine, but like if you are like, why don't I like this? Why isn't this clicking with me? Like that's so much more interesting, and it allows you to explore it. Because I know personally, I did the same thing with horror movies where I used to hate them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to hate horror movies, and now I'm like the biggest horror nerd you'll ever meet. And part of it was because there was a time when I was like, why don't I like horror movies? That's weird. Fear is like an emotion. It's just like laughter or sadness or any of these other things we experience from art. And so I was like, why am I so averse to this emotion? And so I started like looking into myself and like forcing myself to watch movies, horror movies, and like studying it. And now it's like my favorite thing. And I don't know, I think a lot of people could benefit from stuff like that. Like just, if you don't like something, ask yourself why.
Yeah.
Like, talk to someone, like try things out. And maybe that's just me. I love to try new things. It's not gonna work for everyone, you know, but like I don't know, I think that's cool. Like I want to appreciate all forms of art as best as I can, because everything, whether it's paintings, music, movies, video games, it was all made by people who had a vision. And that's cool. Like I want to be able to appreciate what these people are doing because they made it. So there's at least one person out there who thinks this is cool, the person who made it. And so I was like, why? Let's understand that.
That was probably a big thing for me when I started like writing my own music and creating like my own things. Was then looking at everything through that lens, like, oh, somebody had to, like, this was in somebody's head, and like, and now like I'm playing this game, like, and it's written like this, or I'm watching this movie, and then how like everybody planned it. So like I am like, then I started, like I said, with movies, I started being just like, oh, they chose this camera angle for this, like, or this, you know, lighting. Then I, you know, you look at like stuff like lighting videos or things like me, like I just to see interest, like, oh, we did this because of, you know, it invokes this type of emotion, and I'm like, I would have never thought lights would do that. No, how to do that? So it's really cool once you start exploring other people's creative processes, and then just start like just listening into it and being like, wow, there's a lot going into this for me to just be like, oh, this fucking sucks, and like I don't like this, you know what I mean? And it's way too much energy to just be like hating on shit. I'm like, I think that's what it was, because I grew, I guess, like earlier, because I was in that maybe like one genre mentality and stuff like that, where I was just like, oh, this stuff sucks. You know, I used, you know, pop music, I used to be like, pop music sucks, like, or this and that. And that's probably because like that's all I had like growing up. And like now, like I've grown to respect pop music, even like as simple and stuff as it is. I'm like, there's still a talent to making like this stuff, and it's catchy and all this stuff. But just learning to appreciate the work that gets put into this, and being to think of more of like, oh, you know, why did they do this, or how did this get done, and just being more curious. Like it makes for a more interesting time when you're listening, watching, or, you know, doing anything with like art related, even like with artists that like paint and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. You know, how do you know again, when they talk about like, you know, this was painted this way because of, you know, it invokes this, and I'm like, I don't know that. And then I'm like, you know, I didn't understand it, but instead of just being like, oh, it's whatever, like, you know, there's a reason like this stuff goes through. It's just, you know, being able to take yourself outside of it and just like listen to the other person's actual view on it, and see how, like, why they create this, or how, you know, how did it get done. And it just gives you a more, just being curious about it gives you a better feeling when you, or a bigger feeling of satisfaction once you like actually take it in and be like, oh, okay, this is why this is art, you know?
Yeah, use the word curious. I think that's an incredible word for this. It is like having that curious mindset, like, because the information's out there, you know, it's all there. If you just go experience it, like, who knows what you're gonna find. And I don't know how we forgot to mention this, but like, John, if you want to talk about another thing that got together Golden Week, was not just music, but the art of Gene Shin.
Yeah, so we went to an exhibit at the Crow Collection in Dallas, and it was Gene Shin's.
I can't think what it was called.
It's I can't remember. It's one word, but it's like internal something.
Yeah.
But it was just amazing, and it like, dang it, I can't think of the name of it.
It's the tip of my tongue.
It's so good, but yeah, that was kind of one of those moments where we were like, realizing that there were certain approaches mentally and I guess even practically, like what they were doing with their art, with like this person's art.
And again, this is like
physical
art, like in a museum.
Yeah.
This isn't like music, like
But it was inclusions. That's what it was called. And it was like essentially there was a concept of like, you know, the spirit of something. You know what I mean? Like the core quality of it. And we were just like, whoa, we could totally implement this into our music.
Yeah.
This is so cool, like super inspiring. But yeah, I guess it's that curiousness you kind of, with every, even if it's a media that you don't think you're going to enjoy consuming, or art you don't think you're going to enjoy consuming, like if you're looking for, just look for something that you want. It's like going to the dollar store, like you're probably not gonna find a bunch of stuff you like, but there's probably one thing that's like some cool candy you've never seen before. Like do that, but do that with everything. You know, look for that one thing, and then you can make your own voice out of it. You can use a little bit of that when recreating your own art. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes the fun is in specifically seeking out things that you don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there. It's all art, like we were saying. So
you get to know yourself better.
Yeah, you're learning more about yourself, which then allows you to even like double down on, if you need to, the things that you do like. It's like this just cements who I am, whether it's my dislikes or my likes. Like I'm learning more about myself, which then allows me to be a more emotionally honest creator.
Yeah, that's you touched on that. That's exactly what I was thinking. It makes you, again, be the most genuine self you can and put the most authenticity into your art. The more you actually know who you are, like again, what you like and what you dislike, you can put all of that into what you're working on. You know, whether in your case it's music, but in everything, like people pour themselves into it, and it's normally that's gonna be the best art out there. You know, it's the one that you can feel, you know, the person themselves, like in the actual like art, the music. You know, the most emotional like music that I hear is always like really really personal or grabbing, as much as like, you know, as much as like the good you want to put of yourself in music, when you also put in like just as much as the bad, like it makes these really like genuine like art pieces, and music that just touches not only like you know, like you put down everything that you felt, but like you start seeing that people resonate with that, and then you start having people come up to you at like shows and stuff like that. It's like, oh, like this song means this to me. And the cool thing about art, which is kind of like sometimes a struggle, is that once you put it out, so once you put out a song, like you know that you wrote it with this purpose, but everybody else gets their own like, you know, subjective purpose of it. And it's so cool because you'll get someone be like, this means this to me. I'm like, I didn't write that at all, but you got that, like, you know, so that's really cool. Like everybody has their own interpretation.
We even have a sticker that we made specifically for that. It just says Golden Week is a blank band.
Yeah.
And the idea is that people can write in whatever they want, because, you know, we don't know what genre we are or what we are. You can write Golden Week is a anime band, a emo band, a dumbass band, like whatever you want. Because like that's all you, and like that's like,
that's great.
My pockets are very small.
It's okay.
Yeah, but it's like, as long as you're experiencing it and giving it a shot, like that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so yeah, I want to get to like, so the music, you've written a little bit. What's that process normally look like when all the songs have been written? Some of them get written just by you two, or like everything's been written at least with like Ricky involved with y'all?
Yeah, everyone. In fact, Ricky, do you want to hop on for this? Yeah.
Okay, we switching out.
Tag it.
Yeah, for like our writing process, it's kind of evolved, but basically like for Familiar Ceilings, we would kind of, a couple of those songs I would just write out myself and bring to the guys, and then they would like spruce it up and make it really like good. And but then for our recent stuff, we kind of tried like essentially kind of solo working on something and then bringing it when it's a little bit more fleshed out. So for Afterglow, like I was like, I just want to write an OP. Like I want to write an anime OP and like just some ignorant Naruto stuff. Like I think a year before that I had like some health issues, so I was like out for like a month in bed, and I was watching. I told them, I'm like, this is the only chance I got. I'm gonna clear every Naruto episode, all the filler, all of it. Oh my gosh, dude, filler's so bad, but there's some good ones. But yeah, basically like cleared through that. I watched every single Naruto OP and then some. And then I was like, all right, I just want to write my own. And so I did, and then brought that to the guys, and they were able to clean it up and make it better. But then Ricky worked on Power. Well, it's not out yet, but I'll let him take over for that one. So yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a couple of songs that I guess like Serial Experiments Lame that we released was one that's out right now that I had a lot of like most of the structure in terms of like how the chords are going and everything like that was like kind of like my little brainchild that I worked on. I wanted something that had like a little bit of a bop to it.
On Serial Experiments?
Yeah, Serial Experiments, yeah.
Bro, the chords when it starts off, that song just like immediately, like just my ear just popped up the first time I heard it. They're like, I'm like, it's like, hold on, what's going on here? And it's like, just immediately stop what I was doing to listen to it.
Yeah, I'm going to abuse those chords until the
Do
day
it, yeah,
after that,
they're
but
fucking great.
Yeah, we'll keep doing that. But yeah, more recently, like Power, tentative name, we'll see if it changes, is one that we just started playing live. Like we wrote it and then we played it at the last show, and we'll be taking that into the studio here really soon. But that's one that I would just like one thing that I do in terms of like trying to get better as a guitarist and just as get better at writing, because for a long time we didn't have a drummer, and I always like attached myself to like I can't write without a drummer. Okay. So like I was really struggling like with self-confidence and being able to be like, well, I can do cool things, but I need like someone else. So I just started working on my own, and like I bring my guitar to work every day. I have a little like cheap interface there. I just plug in my laptop, and I just did the math. I was like, okay, 7 hours a week. If I play guitar on my breaks and lunch, like I have 7 hours a week outside of everything else that I do, that I can just write and come up with ideas. So I just like, and this is like separate pretty much from all the guys. I just like start busting out ideas and trying to like work on songs, and then I take them to the guys, and then from there we work on stuff. But that's like, it's like a third of our writing process, because like John will write songs, like he'll write whole ass songs, like Afterglow. I'll write songs. Madison and Jonathan are all writing songs, and now that we have Josh, like Josh is such a creative force. Like when we first got him, we like practiced the songs that we already released. It was really awesome because it was just like, oh, this feels perfect. And we were like, well, let's just jam. And then I was like, well, this feels perfect. And it was just like really cool. And yeah, Power is one that it came together really cool. And again, I just wrote it without drums. But then once I gave it to Josh and the rest of the guys, it's just coming together like really, really cool. So it's really awesome to see how everyone creatively comes up with stuff. So we really don't have I guess to answer the question, we don't have a exact writing process.
Yeah.
We kind of have fun with like the experimental concept of like actual writing process, because we'll be like, we'll send like tons of clips of different ideas that we were writing on, but then we'll have one person write a whole song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you wrote all of Afterglow? And then pretty much the entire like structure and everything.
Pretty much,
oh,
yeah.
Shit. That sounds catchy as hell too. And then,
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know if you know, but Ricky did send me like some stuff, some unreleased demos and things that. But like, I heard the two like that you guys played live, but the three that were underneath that, I was like, we're so different from each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, which is great. Like, it's great. Like for me, I'm like, I was like, okay, like this is gonna be like this type of song, like maybe, like I don't know, because it's all just like instrumental, like at the moment. But I heard the first one, and I can't remember. I think it starts with a K. I can't remember. Yeah, that fucking song is so fucking cool. Like instrumentally, like it's so badass. Was that who kind of took like the reins on that one?
So that's all John. I'll let you talk about it.
Dude, I love that because it's. One, it's like I don't know what's coming after the next part, and I always love songs that do that, where I'm like, oh, it's gonna do this again, and I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay, it keeps me guessing. It's still interesting, and just like the guitar playing in it is just really, really like nice. I like that one a lot.
Awesome, yeah. Are you sure you're talking about Kairu?
Maybe.
I think I'm pretty sure that's
the one with the
gay.
The like softer one?
Was it a soft one?
No, it's not a softer one.
I think it's Power.
So that's
let me see. Maybe it doesn't start with a K. Here. I'm gonna.
Kairu is the softer one, but then we have. What'd you send? Goth IHOP and Power.
It's not Goth IHOP. Oh no. I'm sorry. No, it's Desktop.
Oh, Desktop.
Yeah, no,
okay.
sorry, it's not
Kairu.
No, Kairu is the soft one. Yeah, it's the soft one.
Yeah.
Which is good. So it's Desktop then.
Yeah. So that's awesome that we're.
That's Ricky.
That's you. Oh,
well,
okay.
it's not all me. It's definitely not all me. Jonathan like that is an example of a song that's like everyone went in on. Yeah, and that has some programmed drums from people that we were working with in the past in terms of drums. But yeah, the structure, like the song is there. Josh is gonna go in and do his thing, and it's gonna be like 10 times better.
Yeah.
But that's like. So we have like dozens of songs like that, like other than what we've already like sent you.
Yeah.
So like there's such a huge like span of things, and I think that song is that's like part one of like a 2-part song. So we have like it's ridiculous. Like I come from like a progressive kind of background, like Cody and Cambria, Fall of Troy, stuff like that. I like long songs. I like songs that will just go wherever they go.
Yeah.
And that it's a really cool way to kind of just put that out, and I'm glad you liked it because it's cool. It's just like a part one of like something that's bigger, so it's really fun.
Really neat.
Yeah,
but that those entire 3 songs that like I got to hear was so Desktop first, which I was like, that's the first one I heard, so I'm like, okay, like this is what they're going with now. And then I heard the next one, which was Goth IHOP, and I'm like, oh, this is not like that. And I'm like, okay, but it's good. I was like, okay, and I was like, this sounds a little bit more of like has a little bit more, no, actually not that one. But I was like, this one's a little softer and this and that. Like I can kind of see like it's gonna be maybe a little bit more vocal driven like on here. I was like, cool. And I'm like, all right, then listen to the one that you wrote. And I'm like, and this one was like, oh, this one's really pretty. Like I was listening to with my girlfriend. She's like, this is gonna be really like nice and pretty. Like it might be like a love song or something, but it's because it's really like nice. But I'm like, dude, these are 3 different songs that still, with me knowing like y'all and what y'all write, I was just like, this still fits together. Like I would love to hear these songs like on like a project like together, like an EP or an album or whatever. I would be like, I'm definitely not one of those guys to be like, oh shit, like this sounds not at all like the other thing, I'm upset now or whatever. Like to me, I'm like, oh, this offers so much variety that the whole time I was like entertained listening to everything, and I'm like, these are really cool. Which is again goes back to talking about like how y'all aren't really like focused on like sticking to a genre and doing It's pretty much like, hey, let's do what we want to write, you know what I mean? And just as long as it's a good song and make it make sense, like it'll sound good. And I think that definitely like reflected that.
Yeah, I'm super happy with like how it's not even really experimental because like they sound like songs. But it's just like how varied in terms of like, I guess, execution and different things like that we've been able to work on. And yeah, the small snippet that we sent you is just like a small snippet of like a huge batch of stuff that we have. Essentially like we just which we're going to be doing pretty soon. We're going to be going to the studio, and that's really like the final like Golden Week like gel of like how everything kind of comes together, because we're writing pretty much until we get to the studio, and then when we get to the studio with our producer, we work with Brian David at Anthem Recording.
Shout out Anthem.
Yeah, shout
Amazing.
out. Yeah, now that we have 5 members, he's like, I guess, kind of like an unofficial like 6th member.
Yeah.
He really
he helped us like kind of develop our own sound and voice and stuff so far. So
yeah, absolutely. He's
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great experience working with him because like going and recording that first EP, we went through so much.
Oh man.
Oh really?
Yeah, we went through so much because like there's a reason why there's 4 drummers on there.
Because we had one.
Yeah, because we had one, and then it ended up being 4, but it was just a really tumultuous process. So like when our drummer left, we just kept on writing all the music.
We're about halfway through recording that EP.
Yeah.
When he left.
Yeah. But we just kept on writing, and like Brian stepped up. He played some drums, and then I got some of the guys from Faint Love to play drums. And it just really came together. But through that process, we bonded so much with Brian, and we feel like number one, he like will tell us if something sucks.
Oh yeah, that's what's so important. Like, I don't know. I think as an artist, like,
it's essential. Like,
you need
it's
it.
essential. Yeah, you need
so
people
hard to
who are
find.
gonna be honest with you and tell you like it sucks. You know what I mean? And well, be able to tell you why though, like, or like, give you a little bit more specific of that. Because there's a haters suck, like, oh, you suck, but there's also like a, hey, this could be better, and that's I forgot who I was talking to, but I was talking to somebody about this, and it was like, it's very essential. And if it's somebody in your band or somebody, like I said, somebody that's being part of the creative process, if they tell you that, it's not, for the most part, if you have the right team, you have the right people, it's not because they want to be dicks to you or want to be mean to you. It's because at the end of the day, they want to write a good song. Like, they're part of the team. It's like, hey, the what you play reflects on me too, because it's our band.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we want to create the best song that we can, or the best album that we can do. So if I say something, and like I said, it's just about trying like new ideas. To be like, hey, what if you did it this way? And even if you don't end up going that way, you might as well give it a shot and see what happens. Well, that's one thing I've learned with like just collaborative efforts in general, is that I have my own way of thinking for songwriting, and then I sometimes get blinded by that and think that that's the only way to write this song. It's like, this song can only go this way because that's the way my head is telling me, and it's the only way it makes sense. But it's because based on my influences, based on my, everything I've taken in with the music I've listened to, that's the only way that I see.
Yep.
But somebody else comes over here, they have a completely different set of inspirations and everything, and they could add something that, I would never think of, and it ends up being really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But it's just being open to be like, hey, this could be better. Try this. Like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's just about writing really good music. And that's the goal. Yeah.
That's the end goal all the time. And John could definitely speak to this because, I mean, being like the originator of Trist and then just like being the core of Golden Week, like, what's it like when you like have something, you give it to the rest of the guys, or
oh man,
like kind of speak to that,
bro. These dudes,
they vicious.
No, they're mean. No, I'm just kidding. No, like I'll like make I'm okay. So I'm one of those dudes where I'm like, I gotta get the idea out now. So I'll like do a voice memo, and then I'm like, the guy's got to hear this. So I send it to him, and then they'll just keep talking about whatever they're talking about in the text chat. And I'm just sitting there seething. I'm just like, "What? All right, what do you think of the track?" And they're like, "I don't know, Dune, blah, 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 blah." I'm just like, and then they finally reply, and I'm like, "Okay, good, we're good. But this part sucks." Like, okay, cool. And then we'll work on it. But most of the time, there's no this sucks. It's just like, do you like... Okay, here's an example. We do this, but also Brian was great about this. I would like, when we were recording Familiar Ceilings, there was some like background vocal melodies that were stuck in my head that I was like, this needs to go on like on my mind or something. And we show up to record, and I'm like, yeah, I have some ideas, let's do it. And so we do it, and Brian's like, all right, come back in here, I'm just gonna mix stuff for a little bit. And he turns around and he's like, so what do you think about those vocal parts? And I'm like, not bad. And he's like, sure you want to keep them? And I'm like, not anymore, no. I was like, okay, cool. But that's how we all kind of work. Like, we're
all editors.
Yeah, we're all editors.
Yeah.
100%. That's a good way to put it. Like, we're all
Well, that's good,
editors.
because I feel like that it also gives everybody... make sure everybody in the band feels that their opinion is valued and valid, so that they can actually... because if, let's say, like, you write that and someone says, like, I don't like that, how about you try this? And, like, people are just like, oh, fuck off, whatever.
Yeah.
Then that, band members are going to be like, well, I'm not going to fucking suggest anything now, because, like, it's not going to be listened to. But once you feel like you're actually a part of, like, the creative process, again, it's not even about, like, changing that idea, but if you tried it and be like, hey man, didn't work, but
Exactly.
But everybody, if everybody else goes, at least I'm like, oh, okay, at least they tried it, what I mean? At least, like, I feel comfortable to suggest something. And then when you do end up changing something and it ends up really cool, and I'm be like, oh, okay, cool, like, and then it opens the eyes up of like the other band members, like, oh, you know what, like, I set aside my ego a little bit and then like was able to write something. But I know it's difficult sometimes, because I've had instances where I'll write like parts to songs, and then I'll bring it, I'm really excited, and be like, that's not it, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like super upset. Like, I used to like get like super upset and be like, oh my god, like they fucking hate it, like I can't write anything. But then I would end up writing something like so much better. Like I said, it's just that push. That's why, like, to me, because of the people that I had in my band, I was like, oh, okay, if they say something like that, it's because like they know that I can do something better to it.
Absolutely.
And there's been some songs where like some stuff slipped through, and I'm like, where were you guys?
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I know. Like, I wrote. Man, I've written some cringy lines over the
Dude,
years,
I have
man.
stuff on SoundCloud that no one will find, hopefully. Where I'm just
Yeah,
like,
they will.
Now the internet,
They won't know.
Find
They
it.
absolutely will.
Dude, it's like high school cringe, like just solo acoustic stuff. But yeah, that's when you're like, I wish I was in a band then, to have dudes tell me no.
To know, yeah, it's good. Again, it's good. It's that veto process that
Yeah,
you get, and
checks and
be like, hey,
balances.
when you think you're like, oh, this is a great idea. Like, I've had those when, like, I usually have those. That's why I stopped, like, before I used to be like, oh, like, anytime I have an idea in the middle and I need to wake up and record it, because like I'm gonna forget in the morning, and it was really good. And then for a long time I wasn't doing that, and then I'd be like, damn, it was really good. I can't remember it, but I remember it's a good idea. Then I started to write those down, and then I would listen to them in the morning. I'm like, this is fucking terrible, man. Like, I was like, these are bad.
This is a basic chord.
Yeah, I was like, what if I do it? I thought it was like the greatest thing ever, but
It's
I'm
like
like,
only
okay,
good when you're half asleep.
yeah, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
but yeah, like that's the cool thing about being in a band, that where everybody's involved creatively, because you have people who are passionate about writing the music and want to be a part of it. You know, because I've like talked to bands or other bands where it's just like, oh, it's like one person writing everything, and just everybody else is just like, hey, I'm just here to play, whatever. So it's a little nicer to have somebody, a group of people that you trust, that you know, or your friends especially, and then you guys can just if someone tells you a criticism or something, you can talk about it honestly, without being like, hey, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. It's just, we're trying to write some cool music.
Yeah, the key word there is trust. Like, even like, like we say like, oh, that part sucks. We never actually say that. Yeah, that's just like us like vocalizing probably how it feels just at the moment, but like
how it feels to you is like,
yeah, it's like, oh.
He's like,
but yeah, it's all about trust. And like the great thing is like, especially like with John and Maston, like we've been doing this together for so long. Well, not really so long, but just for such a like long time, and like working on all these songs that like we trust each other like implicitly. And when we brought in Jonathan and Josh, like it was just like, oh, we trust y'all to do the thing, and it was just like a no-brainer. And that might be a good segue to get Jonathan and Josh. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, we just switched out again. Now we've had the entire Golden Week here.
We in this.
5, 6. I'll be Sunday. Okay. But yeah, so y'all are I guess the newest additions to it, to Golden Week. Man, I don't know where my brain's. Hold on. That's what happened.
Essential.
Yeah. Okay. So first, we'll start. So you joined as a guitar player, and did you immediately start writing like with them, or did you like first were like, let me just learn everything and play for a while?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Like we spent some time, especially since John wasn't going to be playing guitar anymore. There were a lot of parts that before they kind of had to either leave out or simplify and stuff like that. And a lot of the recordings, there's 3 guitar tracks or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So with John stepping onto vocals and me and Ricky handling guitar, we kind of had a chance to relook at things a little bit and, kind of rework some songs and all that kind of stuff. So at first we were looking at the set, I know one song in particular, Someday Somewhere, off the first album. That was just one guitar track. That was just Ricky for anytime they played it live. That was the one time John was not playing guitar. So I kind of had a chance to go and write some leads over all of it and kind of rework it and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then once we got the set down and started kind of gelling together, we just kind of hit the rails and started writing from that point.
Well, that's cool that you got to actually go in and look at the songs that were already written, and because John was having to sing and play guitar, you got to kind of like add a little bit more to it. And just let John sing. That's really awesome. So some of the songs ended up changing already, like right off the bat when you were coming in.
Yeah, just a little
Slightly.
bit. Like, a lot of stuff more like dynamically and tonally and stuff like that. Someday probably has the biggest changes. Thankfully, I was a huge fan of the band before I joined, so I didn't feel the need to like change too much.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But they were really nice and kind of gave me the, reins to feel my way around and stuff like that. And it was really no issue, especially since me and Maston, like he was saying, had played in a band for so long together. It was just like kind of as soon as it happened, it was going. So at least I think so. So
how did the offer come like your way? Was it just like, hey, do you want to come jam with us, or like?
Yeah, pretty much. It was like
planned on it.
Yeah, we had planned on it for a long time, more or less, because COVID kind of threw a lot of things off, because I was actually living up in Nashville for a little while.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm from here, so that's how me and Maston were playing in My Apologies. But I moved up to Nashville for 5 or 6 years and was going to move back in like 2020 and,
what happened?
Start playing with them. And then, we all know what happened from there. So it was pushed off a little bit. But once I moved down in 2021, played the first show with him, I think in May, actually played with his old band On Better Terms.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was.
You were in On Better Terms?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Fuck. All right, cool, man. Like, that's all these bands that I've played. I think we played with On Better Terms. Well, back. This is a long time ago, but fucking cool. So like, so that's kind of how like the connection was that y'all played in a band together, and that's kind of how that was made. And then, and I'm sure that y'all were friends with like On Better Terms, and this came about.
Because My Apologies had toured with On Better Terms.
Yeah, we had toured with them multiple times, and we actually released a split EP together. So
I remember that.
Yeah, so
fucking cool.
Good friends all around. It just worked great.
Nice. And then Josh, you just joined like not too long ago. How long? They
Like
said about
maybe
a month,
6 weeks. Yeah.
6 weeks, really. How was that? Was that like an easy decision to make to just be like, hey, I want to play this, or you know?
Yeah, definitely. I've been friends with most of these dudes for a while. Just like playing on bills with them. You know, because I was also in Offended by Everything. So between the other projects, just brushed shoulders with them a lot, and I had a big respect for the songs. I've always enjoyed, you know, the instrumentation and just kind of all the parts. And so when I found out that they needed a drummer, I jumped at the opportunity. Yeah, I started playing with them at the beginning of the year, and then they want to have me, so I'm locked in now.
Yeah,
we got them, ladies and gentlemen. We got 'em.
Creatively, have you started to like try to like write to some of like the music with them as well?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And,
some of the newer songs, maybe even some of the ones they sent you, I've kind of like, they sent me kind of skeletons. I'm like, all right, let's see what I can do with these, where I can add, you know, my own personality and style into them. So far the process has been very smooth. I've really been vibing and enjoying the collaboration so far.
I feel like it's really easy, especially because like, again, you guys were already friends and actual like fans of like the band already.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly like what I would add to this, or like what I want to play like on this. So it seems like that transition has been like really smooth and easy.
It was kind of like a good opportunity to take advantage of that like dream you have, where it's like, hey, I get to play with my favorite band. I don't have to write any of these songs. They're great.
Yeah.
You know. And then it's just, you know, easy. And then it's time to write.
It's like, wait, hold on. It's funny. I actually, I had that like a week ago. Someone approached me, and it's this band that it's a local band around here that I am obsessed with and love. And it's like, hey, like, and they broke up a while ago. But he was like, hey, like, he said, we're starting a new project, and I'm like, cool, guys. And he's like, you still doing vocals? And I'm like, sort of, like I can. And he's like, let me send you some stuff. So he sends me the unreleased EP that they never put out, and I'm just like fangirling over here. I'm like, this is all fucking cool. He's like, yeah, you want to sing on it? I'm like, what? I was like, yes. I was like, but I'll try. Like, all done? Yeah, I just have to sing over it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah. I go, let me check my schedule. I gotta act cool and whatever.
Squeeze you in.
Yeah, just go home. I was like,
That's awesome.
But no, that's really cool. But and then so live, you've played just one live show this year with them,
one show,
which is the one at Cheap Steaks, right?
Yeah, and then we have one coming up, I think April 8th in Fort Worth.
April 8th.
Yeah.
Where's that one at?
Rail Club.
Rail Club. Yeah.
Rail Club. Oh shit, that's the one. Yeah, that's our show. I was like, it's our show. Yeah, dude. Like I'm just I've just been a fan like of Golden Week in general. Like I'm in the same boat. It's like, where I'm just like, it's really cool, catchy music, and live it's just this really fun energy. And I've been more focused on that. I don't know now as I've gotten older or anything like that, but I just love like that type of like energy during live shows. I like to see like if I can see on stage and y'all are having like a really good time, then I'm just like, yeah, that's the music is great like already. So I know that coming in because like I'm a fan or whatever. So I'm like, I love these songs. I'm like, these are good, but like the energy on stage is like a really nice like, you know, vibe time. And then I saw I didn't get to go to the Cheap Steaks show, but I saw like a bunch of videos of like the crowd and stuff, like people dancing. I think there's one they'll put up it's like almost like a gift of the guy like dancing and like
Christian.
It was funny, I had me dancing, but I'm like, yeah, I'd be doing that too. So I mean, y'all been playing in bands for like a long time. What do you think is like the biggest like differences with like what you were playing before to like this?
Yeah, so I mean, it's before with My Apologies, we were focusing less on melody and more on noise. So it was like 100% energy on stage. You know, like that was kind of our whole thing. Is, you know, we went for that just like it was during the dawn of like that kind of like shoegazy post-hardcore type stuff. So
Gotcha.
we were trying to go like pretty in all emotion on the stage and stuff like that. So we focused less on the technical playing and more just like bringing that energy and getting people into it and stuff like that. And in Golden Week, I still get to do that, but there's more focus on playing clean, giving good chords so John can actually sing over it, and, all of that kind of stuff. So it's been a fun challenge and a fun way to adapt. But at the same time, like, as much as I was, loving playing in a hardcore band and stuff, like my favorite shows to go to all the time was always like you were saying, bands that just have a lot of energy and stuff. And, sure, hardcore has a lot of that, but the first band when I think of like energetic live shows is Modern Baseball. And like, they weren't like, beating each other up or playing sloppy or anything, but like, they were having fun. Like they would like unplug each other's cables and stuff when they're about to go into a solo and just like, mess around and stuff. And like, that's what a live show should be. You know, it's like if you're just gonna go be boring, play the songs perfectly as they are on record, it's like that person could have saved their money and just listened to the record
home and listened to them.
Yeah, exactly. So like bringing that energy forward is like the thing I love most about the live shows, and something that's important to give to people that are there. So we all want to be smoking cigarettes during people's sets, so you gotta entertain them.
Yeah, so. I mean it is a big deal. Actually, the show I went to that's my greatest example of like that would be I saw Bill Murray last year.
Okay,
nice.
Sell
Out Trees. And one, I first of all I love the fact that like these songs are depressing as fuck, and like the energy in that room was like just so fucking high. Like, I mean, the place was packed. It was trees and it's packed the fuck out, and it's just dumb shit in the middle. Again, like they fuck around with each other, and it was just like in the middle is like when he was having people like yell out, and he's like, "Oh, count of 3, just say fuck," and it was like, and it's just like, and then the entire room just getting loud as shit. But again, the energy they were playing, all the songs sounded fucking fantastic. Like all the singing was. I mean, they had the. I think the girl on the tour like also like plays the sax. Like now that they have sax in a lot of their songs, so plays. Really cool. I'm like, there's a lot of like cool things that you can add to it, but energy is the biggest thing. It's like if you can make the crowd like when you can see out and like the crowd's just like doing this because they're jumping. I'm like, that's fucking insane. That takes a lot. Like it takes a lot for a band to do that and play that set well enough to again combine both of those things. It's like, hey, how do we like keep the energy up and how do we actually like play the songs and don't make them sound like
you saying
like
that I just got to give a shout out to Cat Bamboo because they are exactly what you're describing, where it's like we all saw them for the first time at Rail Club like the last time they played down here a month ago or so.
Like,
we had them. It was the first time I had seen them, and like one, they are clean as hell when they play, but like sometimes I love instrumental music, kind of, but like, sometimes they can be boring up on stage. They're just up there focusing, doing whatever. But like, Cat Bamboo had the whole crowd moving. They were like running around the stage, hyping people up. Like, I've never seen like an instrumental band really like have that much energy on stage. And like, I don't know. Shout out to them for that.
They wild out like when they're up there, and it's weird because that like band has gone through like a lot of member changes in the last year, and like to be able to still put on the show that they like put on with their original lineup, and even like with lineup changes, and still be able to like capture that energy, it's like really cool.
Yeah, that's super special.
Like, and like you said, instrumental, it's even harder. Normally you're like, oh, you got a vocalist that can like go around. If you have a front man, they can go around or like move around on stage and talk.
Exactly.
You have someone like, oh, okay, that maintains people's focus or whatever. But instrumentally, like, okay, I don't have vocals here. Like, how am I capturing like this?
Right, you gotta work harder.
Exactly,
work harder.
And man, they do. Definitely. Shout out Cat Bamboo.
For real.
They're great.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and you've also like been playing for a long time. I mean, like you said, On Better Terms. Did you play with anybody else? You said somebody else.
Offended by Everything.
Offended by Everything, which both really fucking good bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of fill-in work in between.
Oh, really?
Just like random. Hey, my friend has a band. Can you fill in for this show? Just a lot of little stuff like that as well.
Do you it's just love of playing? So you're like, I'm just gonna help out a lot of friends.
That's what really got me in. I came from New England.
And really?
Moved down to Texas about 6 years ago. And coming from a place where it's rural and there's not much of a scene to now there's shows happening, all over the city every weekend. It just really got me excited. So
that's something that I take for granted when I leave like this area, because I'm like, I go, no, like we have shows you can find anywhere. Like, you know, there's almost something going on every day, like that you could find like over the DFW, and it's still like the DFW is still like not that far apart. Like you're, you know, what, 40 minutes from Dallas, you know, 40,
everybody in
45
Dallas
minutes.
likes to act like Fort Worth. I mean, I'm included in this. I'm not trying to say I'm not, but like everybody acts like it's so far. But I feel like you make the drive, and it's like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I was always going to Dallas. Like that's when we started NoiseROT. We're like, we live here. Like let's try to do a lot of shows here, like, just to see if we can. Because because there's a lot, you know, there's a lot everywhere in like Dallas. I mean, Dallas is changing, like the scene out there too. Definitely. And then like, I mean, Deep Ellum, like I feel like I bring this up way too much, but Deep Ellum is like a whole like new different place, you know, to play out there. But there's still like, you can still find a show and like in every like different fucking variety. And it's I was talking to someone, and if it's weird because if you're not actually in like this scene, you know, kind of like, you know, you guys playing in a band or anything, like you look at Fort Worth or you look at the DFW as like this, actually Fort Worth in general as like a different place. Because I was talking to somebody who actually worked for like a magazine or something, and they were like, oh yeah, when I think of Fort Worth, I only think of like country, and I'm
like the stockyards.
I go, dude, there's so fucking much like that you could find here, like a lot. I'm like, and that's what like even like when we do like NoiseROT, and that's like when we're doing this, and I'm like, no, I gotta show like there's a lot more. Like there's nothing bad about country. I go, but we are a lot more. Like it's genre wise, just like art wise. There's so many like different like small, you know, businesses around here and stuff, but there's so much stuff to do. And yeah, when I talk to people who are, you know, who live in a place or, you know, a rural area or something like that where they don't have access to like a show every now and then, or like if you want to see a tour that's coming by, you have to drive, you know, a few hours out of the way to see the, you know, whatever band that you want to see because they're not coming anywhere near you or something like that. And here it's like every time they plan a tour, I see a tour announced, and like, oh, okay, it's gonna be somewhere in the area. Like it's not here, it's in Dallas, and it's like whatever,
or Denton, or one of the three.
Yeah, like it's gonna be it's gonna be in this and that. Either way, it's like an hour away from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
sometimes we even get tours that hit Fort Worth and Dallas. So
I've seen that.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we are definitely really, really lucky, like in the scene that we're in, with the variety that we have, and just the availability of just like music in general. So I can definitely see how that was like a positive outlet, something to be excited about. Did you join like on better terms immediately after like getting here, or?
It was within a year of living in Texas. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Damn, so that was right. Were you drumming for anybody out there where you used to be?
No, I had a little bit of church experience, which is where I learned to play the drums, but I hadn't done work with any bands before Texas. So
damn, yeah, that's really cool. So y'all are headed into the studio here in a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How are y'all feeling about that?
Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Super stoked. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've already recorded with them before, right?
Yeah, technically. Yeah. I added some guitars after the fact on Afterglow. So that was the first time I got like on a Golden Week cut, but I'm really excited to be able to go in, you know, from the ground up, and just it was like half a day there that we got to work with Brian. That was the first time I had met him, and it was just amazing. I mean, I got to play a guitar that I'd never be able to afford in my life, coming out of an amp that I'd never be able to find in my life. So like, it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to kind of go through the whole process with him and see what that's like.
How many songs are y'all doing?
I think we're doing 3.
3?
So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking damn. That's exciting as hell. Yeah, man. I don't know. Other than that, like, other than like trying to listen, I'm already like looking forward to listening to those. Like once they're done, like I really like I am. Other than that, like you guys have like you said a show on it's on the 8th, right?
Yes.
8th at the Rail Club, and then you got some studio side. Yeah, is that those releases, or do you plan on releasing those as like singles, or like working like towards a bigger project, or is it something kind of you're still up in the air of developing?
A little up in the air. I'll let some of them come back up here in a minute and talk more about the specifics, but it's still kind of up in the air on 2 of the songs. One of them, I'll go ahead and spoil, and I'll let y'all talk about it a little bit more, but we're doing a cover for one of them. It's a Kingdom Hearts cover, Simple and Clean.
Fuck!
Yeah. Well, you know, but
oh my
for the
gosh.
normies out there, it's like Kingdom Hearts cover. But yeah. So we're really excited about about that, and we're looking to get that out actually around Golden Week, so that'd be the end of April. Release it for the holiday.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna nerd out. Actually, you know who's gonna nerd out? Daniel DJ is fucking the biggest Kingdom Hearts fan. I caught him crying at every ending. It's fantastic. I walked in one time on Daniel. I walked in on him, and I'm just like, he's like tearing up, and I'm like, "Are you okay, dude?" And he's like, and then I look at the screen, and it's just like the end credits, and I'm like, "Oh, never mind."
It's like Kingdom Hearts is light, man.
Killed the 5th version of Xehanort.
Jesus Christ, that shit was exhausting. He's like, I played it too, but I played it on the easier mode. So I'm like, I saw him stressing out about it all the time. I'm like, I don't need that in my life right now. I just want to know how this ends.
It will never end. That's the catch
It's
about
never
Kingdom Hearts.
It's never gonna end. No, and like I think he played everything because he's like when he wanted to play I think 3, he was like, I'm gonna go through and play it all. So he played like
Birth by Sleep and
all of them, all of them.
Even the Java mobile games from back in the day.
Nope,
Wow.
he did those too.
That's dedication.
I mean, those are canon, so it's important.
Are canon.
Yeah, they are canon. It's important. So.
It's important to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dope. I guess we are close to wrapping this up. Does anybody want to come up and talk about anything else before we do?
I guess we'll just wrap it up. Yeah.
Cool. I'll let the.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Thank y'all.
We back.
All right. Tell the people what we're doing next, John.
Oh man, that's gonna be all Ricky. No, just kidding. No.
I told you.
Oh, you
I
do it?
remember this stuff.
I'm not gonna. I literally, my mind's totally blank right now.
All right. Yeah. So.
I'll ad lib
Yeah. So we have the show coming up on the 8th.
on the 8th. Yeah, exactly. 21.
I think the podcast may be out before then, so yes, we are gonna be recording Simple and Clean 2 days after that. We're also gonna be playing that
Yes.
live at the show, so that's gonna be
If you want the live version,
Yeah,
come to
if you
Rail
want the live
Club
version,
on the
yeah.
8th.
I'm ordering a Keyblade right now, just
Yes.
showing up.
Yes.
come in full cosplay.
If you come in cosplay, you get something free from us.
yeah.
Your big 22 size shoes, right? Yeah, all your belts and buckles.
All the fucking buckles and everything.
Yeah, and then we're going into the studio to record that, and just as we're definitely going to do 3, the cover included, but as many as we can do in the time that we have.
Yeah.
And then during the Golden Week holiday, which is end of April, Simple and Clean is coming out. We're launching Twitch, so we're going to be streaming. We're going to be doing video games, music pretty soon. It'll probably just be like maybe us playing our stuff or some writing stuff. We have decent internet at the practice space, so we're going to try that out once we get some mics. But we're going to be on Twitch, and then really after that we don't have a lot of shows that we can announce. We're going to try and get out of the DFW and play outside of town, outside of the state, and but follow us on socials. It's Golden Week at Golden Week Music pretty much everywhere. And that's all we got.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate all of y'all stopping by. I'm really, I've been trying, again, I'm just terrible at scheduling stuff. But you guys are literally one of like my favorite bands in the DFW. Like I can definitely see that on like my top of my list.
Thank you so much.
And you guys are just really good and talented. I didn't get to say this, but Maston, your bass playing is fucking sick. Like on a bunch of songs, literally on the songs, I'm like, man, like this bass is fucking
Wait till you
killer
hear
on
my
this.
new bass. I just I took out a loan to buy a new bass.
Yeah, bro. He had to reassure us. He's like, it's okay. The loan I took out has extra money for recording in it. I'm like, okay.
It's like, okay, I guess.
It's gonna be fire though. Tell him what it is.
Oh yeah, it's a Lakeland Shoreline Tetsuya.
Lakeland Shoreline Tetsuya from Tetsuya, the bassist of Larkin Seal. Yeah.
My favorite bassist.
Nice. Well, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I really thank you again for it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This has been episode 66 with Golden Week, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Sounds and breakdowns.